Hello and welcome to podcast number 2, The Wrath of Khan. I don't know why we did that.
And there go the last 1.5 listeners.
We did it because it was funny.
Yes. Anyway, today we're going to have a bunch of lovely things to talk to you about, especially what's been going on at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, even though we're not there. We're on the other side of the country, while everybody's having fun over there with Adrian Curry dressed as Catwoman.
Oh, man, why the hell am I here?
She was supposed to be dressed up as Poison Ivy. I don't know what happened to that costume. I saw somebody, buttoning up her backside in that outfit, but every picture I saw was her Catwoman, which was lovely. It was actually the animated series version of Catwoman.
I don't care which version it is.
Oh, Adrian Curry. You make this world a better place to live in. But anyway, on to more important things. Now.
We're going to get sued.
No. No.
So reassuring.
Not till tomorrow.
Not until tomorrow, yeah. So anyway, let's see. What's going on at San Diego Comic-Con, or as they call it, SDCC.
Sounds like a disease.
Maybe.
Hey, what happens at Comic-Con stays at Comic-Con.
If only. Speaking of Adrian Curry, though, and Comic-Con, the other day she posted something about, she posted an article about dating at Comic-Con, and she made a comment on how about her she was single, but her date would be short-lived because she was toxic, because she's being Poison Ivy, and I posted, I'll bring the aloe.
Nobody wants to know what you're doing with that aloe.
But anyway, so CM Punk's actually at San Diego Comic-Con.
Really?
Yeah, I was actually really excited to hear that because I miss him.
Did he bring the ice cream bars?
No, he still didn't bring the ice cream bars, but he's shaved. He looks all clean shaven and stuff now. It's really weird.
Well, it's not like he's, it's not like he's got to really be in character.
I know, but I love his character.
I know.
Which brings me to our first topic.
Yeah.
Called The WWE Sucks Without CM Punk. Now, my first thing I want to talk about on that is AJ Lee is not pregnant.
Sorry.
Wasn't my fault.
Oh. No, AJ Lee is not pregnant. I think it was like a week after we had that last podcast, she suddenly showed up and won the women's title back. I don't think a pregnant woman would do that. And also, Brie Bella is not pregnant.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not. A pregnant woman would not get slapped in the face by Stephanie McMahon and try to jump over the barricade to attack her. They would not let her do that.
I don't know. My sister's like 5 months pregnant, and she's a feisty little broad. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but your sister's not under contract with the WWE. It's not like
Pregnant does not mean disabled.
I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying that the WWE would not risk her putting her in a storyline like that where she would have to get physical if she was pregnant.
It's Daniel Bryan's child. That kid's tough.
Apparently he is because...
Kid's already got a beard.
Apparently Daniel Bryan is tough because I heard, he beat up somebody trying to break into his house?
Yeah, apparently the story going around online today on all the news outlets was Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella getting home from the airport to find two guys running out the back of their house. Bryan took off after them, tackled one of the guys, the other one got away, but apparently, unfortunately, there was no involvement of the Yes Lock. That would have just been too perfect.
Who would rob a wrestler's house?
Stupid people.
That's like, that's like robbing the gun nut on your block's house. That you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah, it's like robbing the Undertaker's house and then complaining when he get buried in his backyard.
So let me get this straight. You think that your boss, one of the most influential, most powerful men in Gotham, is a vigilante, running around the streets of Gotham, beating up bad guys, and your idea is to blackmail him? Good luck.
Terrible Morgan Freeman impression.
Well, but there's only one good Morgan Freeman impression.
Little boy.
The only good Morgan Freeman impression is the one Morgan Freeman does.
Yeah.
Frank Caliendo does a good Morgan Freeman as well.
I don't know who that is.
Morgan Freeman on Helium.
Yeah, I heard Morgan Freeman on Helium earlier today.
That sounds like it would be pretty hilarious.
It is pretty hilarious.
There are two fantastic videos that I've seen. One recently, one not so recently. The not so recent one is Morgan Freeman reading the lyrics to the song "The Fox,"
Oh, I've
which is
heard of it. I
hysterical.
haven't actually heard it.
The other one is not actually Morgan Freeman, but comedian Frank Caliendo reading LeBron James' apology letter in Morgan Freeman's voice, and he actually does a pretty solid.
Is this
Morgan
the guy? He was like the narrator of Scary Movie 5 who tried to sound like Morgan Freeman.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
To be fair, though, if anybody actually listens to this, they're not going to be PO'd about my bad impression of Morgan Freeman. They're going to be PO'd because I completely quoted that wrong.
Oh, I'm sure you did. From one of the greatest superhero movies of all times. But we'll get back to Batman. We have a few bones to pick with Batman.
Batman or Batfleck?
We'll get back to that. We'll circle around back to that. That could be part of our San Diego Comic-Con part, which I'm going to get into. I think we're done talking about CM Punk and the WWE.
I was going to say, he's not doing much right now.
Well,
He is being Walking Dead enthusiast Phil Brooks.
Yes.
That is all that matters.
Okay.
Well, I've heard both Kurt Angle and Batista came out recently and said he should come back. We think he's going to come back. It's like, great. But until he comes back, who cares?
Hey.
Brock Lesnar came back.
They could
Who
do
cares if Brock Lesnar came back? He's a part-timer.
Yes, Brock Lesnar came back, and Blutista is still out there plugging his role in Smurfs 3.
Yeah.
Smurfs 3.
No.
There's going to be a Smurfs
He
3.
is Smurfs 3.
But speaking of Batista movies, I did hear that the reviews for Guardians of the Galaxy basically said best Marvel movie you'll ever see. Now that's a pretty big thing to say.
Yeah. I'm still going with Avengers.
Yes, but I also just heard that Avengers 3 will probably come out in 2018, and it will be the Avengers teaming up with the Guardians of the Galaxy to fight Thanos. Finally. Oh my god. Okay then. So, but anyway, San Diego Comic-Con. What have we heard so far? Well, let's start off right off the bat. Have anybody seen the new Batfleck Batman costume?
Sadly, yes.
Tragically.
Now,
can we just take a moment? The Con Artist podcast is performed before a live studio audience, who sometimes gets quite loud.
yeah.
Rambunctious.
Oh, anyway. So, Batfleck. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the costume,
God bless you.
well, basically the costume looks like Dark Knight Returns.
With a big dirty spot on the chest.
Well, that's exactly what the Dark Knight Returns bat symbol looked like. But what doesn't make any sense to me, they said, yes, this is a seasoned Batman, as they said, but the Dark Knight Returns takes place when Bruce Wayne's like in his, 60s or 70s? You know?
That doesn't look like a Dark Knight's Return. That looks like a Minecraft bat symbol.
Well, yes. But,
the costume designer is a big fan of Minecraft.
Who isn't? Oh, well, that's because you have no soul. One day you will regenerate and you will appreciate Minecraft. Did you see the honest trailer for Minecraft?
Yes, I've seen the honest trailer for just about everything they've done.
Yeah, I was watching all of them the other night, and I thought it was hysterical. I love how the epic stare music they use for Twilight is also the epic stare music they use for X-Men with the Phoenix, and it's also the epic lens flare theme for Star Trek.
It's epic music. It should be used epically.
Yes. Too bad we can't do a podcast with epic stairs. I don't know, you both walked up the epic stairs to get here, though.
There we go.
All right. Anyway, back to Batfleck. So, somebody explain to me, we've all seen the Dark Knight movies. If you haven't, you're an idiot. We finally got to a point in our lives where we had a Batman who could turn his head. Finally, after, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies, if you count the old Adam West movie.
Yeah, but that was made of cloth.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we finally got to the Dark Knight, where he says, you know what, I need a new costume. And even Morgan Freeman said, oh, you want to be able to turn your head.
You want to be able to back out of the driveway.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, that was what Bruce Wayne said. Stop screwing up Morgan Freeman there.
Stop quoting Dark Knight.
Yeah, just stop.
Stick to what you're good at.
I mean, I think it's a great trade. We got rid of bat nipples.
I
So-
wanted to be the one to bring that up. I was going to say, hey, you know what? The suit may look awful, but at least it doesn't have nipples on it.
Exactly.
Let's give credit where credit is due. Your fabulous, incredibly good-looking girlfriend brought up the bat nipples. Just saying.
That's true, but I didn't get to bring it up on a microphone.
Well, I'm sorry. But anyway, the
Be sorry, be
point
quiet.
remains that bat nipples suck. and not in the good way. But but anyway, my point is, okay, the new suit does not have bat nipples. But the Dark Knight the Dark Knight Rises and the Dark Knight Bat suit was actually, I think, the best suit they've done so far. It made the most sense. And the other thing I don't like about the new Batfleck suit is it doesn't look like it's armored. It looks like it's just a shirt. It's the first time they've ever done a gray Batman suit in a movie. And I understand, okay, we haven't done that before, let's try it out. All right, fine. But that's the one thing that always bugged me about the animated series. And don't get me wrong, I love the animated series, but he basically was wearing a shirt. If he got shot, he got shot.
Yeah.
You know, the Joker was able to stab him in the leg because there's no padding there. There's no armor. There's nothing.
I just want to know why it is that we can get, we can have 3 Iron Man movies and we can get every single Iron Man suit 100% accurate down to the last, moving gear, but we can't design a bat suit that looks right.
Well, it depends on the definition of what looks right. I mean, like I said, I was a really big fan of the Dark Knight ones.
Me too.
Even the Batman Begins one wasn't bad. And I'll even go as far to say as the Batman and Batman Returns bat suit was also really good, but it had the armor.
Yeah.
And they didn't add nipples yet.
The only reason they did that.
Damn you, Joe
The only reason
Schumacher.
they did that suit is because that symbol fits good with the Superman symbol for the next movie.
That's true. For the logo, yeah,
Is the same dude playing Superman?
of course.
Okay. Well, you never know. They seem
Yeah,
to...
he was just a half a step better than Brandon Routh, so they invited him back for another go.
Okay, I like Brandon Routh. I didn't have a problem with him.
Yeah, I like the new guy better, though. Of course, I love in that movie, in Man of Steel, if you remember, there's a scene in Man of Steel where he's fighting that giant machine and he looks up to fly towards it. And I remember watching that movie, I was like, he really looks like Christopher Reeves right there. Then I found out later it's because they did that on purpose. They digitally enhanced Christopher Reeves' face over him to make him look like that.
But to be fair, the guy that got for the Man of Steel, he was great for the Man of Steel. But I don't think he would have done as good in Superman Returns. I think Brandon Routh was perfect for Superman Returns.
Well, Superman Returns had its own level of problems that had to be dealt with. And
Oh, yeah.
Man of Steel had its own problems. The problem that I've had with both of those is that 10 years were spent turning somebody into Superman. And granted, he was about 10, 12 years older than the character that he was playing on TV in Smallville. But I think Tom Welling was doing a fantastic job in the role of Clark Kent, in the role of Superman, building up to all of that. And then they said, nah, you know what, Tom, we're going to give it to somebody else because we want to superimpose Christopher Reeve's face over Henry Cavill in Man of Steel to, get the fanboys off.
See, I never watched Smallville.
Well, my problem with Smallville, and I'm not saying anything bad about Smallville, the problem I have with Smallville, though, is I feel like they got way too far into the Superman story before he was even Superman.
Well, yeah, they spent 10 seasons of that show building up to the final episode where, spoiler alert, he finally puts on the suit that we all know and love.
But it's like he meets, Green Arrow, he meets Supergirl, he meets all these people that he didn't actually meet until after he became Superman. Yeah. I just felt like that's not how I would have done it. And it's like I kind of feel the same way. I want to watch Gotham, but I feel like you're making a TV show that takes place. It's about Batman before he's Batman.
Yeah.
And I feel like, is that how much can we actually do with that? Because it's like everybody's like, oh, the Joker's going to be in it. It's like, yeah, but it's not going to be the Joker. It's going to be the guy who becomes the Joker. Does anybody want to really see that?
Well, that's kind of what I don't understand with what they're doing there. And don't get me wrong, I'm kind of looking forward to Gotham, and I'll definitely check it out. But you've got Green Arrow, which is about to go into his third season, okay? And that's Arrow. It's Green Arrow. He's being Green Arrow. It's not Ollie before he became Green Arrow. You've got the Flash coming out this fall. It's the Flash. He got struck by lightning already. He's gonna be the Flash. So why are we doing a Batman series without Batman?
Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The answer to all things wrong with TV.
Why is this being done so horribly?
Fox.
Yeah, and the problem is if it's actually any good, it'll get canceled.
What does the Fox say? Canceled usually.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
We
I
need a-
saw something.
We need a snare drum
I
after.
saw something about. I'm trying to remember what it was. I didn't actually read the article. It just showed Malcolm Reynolds for Firefly, but he was animated.
There is a Firefly online game coming out. In the vein of Star Wars, The Old Republic, Star Wars Galaxies, World of Warcraft. It's an MMO based around the Firefly universe.
Really?
And I aim to misbehave.
Okay then. I might have to check that. I'm not a really big fan of MMO games usually,
but
but I'll have to check that out.
It looks interesting. It definitely looks like it'll be entertaining for at least a couple of hours,
Well,
unless you're the type of person that is
works for
really
Fox?
into that sort of thing. Well, if you're the type of person that works for Fox, you'll probably make a character and start to get into the story and then cancel it.
Well, Nathan Fillion has said on many occasions, he said, I have unfinished business with Firefly. You know, and I feel like maybe he's the only one, but I feel like if they said, hey, listen, we're going to bring back Firefly, he'd be like, yeah, I'm there. So.
Speaking of games, though, for anybody who played and who liked the two Transformer games that just came out, the Transformers War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, they just released a new one. We're about a week or two late, but Transformers Search for the Dark Spark, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's a
It's done by the same people.
I know, but it's not the same kind of game.
Really?
I'm trying to remember.
Just looked interesting.
I did, but I remember reading the thing, and it's like it wasn't.
I get to sit out on this one. I haven't heard anything about it.
The dark
Aside
Spark.
from the title.
I just know it wasn't like the other two games. It was almost like it was going to be an MMO, but not an MMO. It was something else. Like,
that's disappointing.
yeah.
I put $5 down on it.
Oh well, you know what? Try it, and maybe we can do a review on it later. But anyway, let's see. What else is going on at San Diego Comic-Con other than, in a disappointing Batman suit?
I heard there was something about a dog riding a motorcycle.
Apparently, there is a dog riding a motorcycle. It's a costume thing. It's a real dog, but I guess he's there every year. That's what I was heard. That is what I was heard. Yeah.
I want to know why Patches gets to go to San Diego every year and I haven't been once. I really need
I'm
to find
surprised
this out.
you haven't been
Yeah,
there. You've been
you're
to
the
every other
con
Comic-Con
person.
on the East Coast and some of the West, I think.
Nope, haven't been that far out.
No. Well, you've been to Florida.
Been to Florida, been to New York.
Florida's not west.
Oh, also,
It's that way.
for those of you, apparently, because everybody's up in arms because Stan Lee canceled some appearances, including the San Diego Comic-Con appearance.
The guy's 80 years old.
Yeah, but
He's older than that.
but they made it sound like he was dying. No, the guy has laryngitis. At least that's what I read earlier today. So
Hey,
When
could
you're
be
92
worse.
years old, laryngitis is serious.
Yeah.
I understand that, but
When you're 92 years old, the hangnail is serious.
don't give up hope, true believers. He's not dead yet.
Yeah, and give
Don't
the guy
stop
and for
believing.
those.
Don't stop believing.
Yeah, and oh Jesus.
No, believing. Let's leave
And-
Bo out of this. We've already done our WWE sucks segment.
But and give the guy, for everybody who's kind of up in arms, give the guy a break. He's not exactly spring chicken or
Yeah.
anything approaching.
But you know something? Somebody said to me once, Stan Lee invented Spider-Man when he was in our 40s. So none of
Mhm.
us have even started to live yet. Now, anyway, getting back to what they've announced at San Diego Comic-Con. I want to get this out of the way. Apparently, Spider-Man 3 was moved to 2018. So it's going to be another 4 years before we see Spider-Man 3. However, the Sinister Six movie, which I'm really not sure why they're even making, has been moved to 2016. It sounds to me, the Sinister Six, they're making a Sinister Six movie without Spider-Man.
Okay.
Which makes perfect sense, too.
So that's like making a
Some
Joker movie without
producer.
Batman.
Yeah.
Or better yet, perfect example, Catwoman.
Yes. Catwoman,
Halle Berry in a tight costume.
tight
Nothing
leather
wrong-
costume.
Tight leather costume. Nothing wrong with that. However, it's Batman without Batman.
Yeah. It's a movie about these six people who are sinister.
what is it? It's Doctor Octopus.
Well, it depends on which version. I think it's like Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus, Rhino. There's different versions. Mysterio, Electro.
Yep.
Which died in Spider-Man 2, so I don't think he's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Vulture.
Yes, Vulture.
It's like I said, it's different versions. There's like different comics. There's the cartoon version.
So if Spider-Man's not going to be in there, they're just going to all come out and say, "Hey, we win."
Exactly. So here's what I think they should do for Spider-Man 3. And I know as soon as I say this, is you people, the few of you who are listening, will be like, "But they did that before." But if it's done right, here's what I would do. I would have Spider-Man put on the black suit, and the reason I say that is because the black suit. I don't want to see him dancing down the street, and
You don't want to see him strut?
no, I do not want to see Peter Parker strut. But I think he needs to be more. I think he needs to be more of the angry, pissed off because his girlfriend. Spoiler alert: Gwen Stacy dies at the end of Spider-Man 2.
What?
I know, right? Shocker. They did.
Yeah, because nobody's read the comic.
But and I just
Made a
feel like
comic out of that?
I feel like if you put him in the black suit, it will kind of feed to. I feel like the aggression would really come out in the black suit because he's still trying to get over that. But I feel like it'll be Mary Jane that kind of snaps him back to no, that's not who you are. And hopefully, now we can do this one of two ways. We can do half the movie in the black suit and half the movie with Venom done right, or we could do whole movie in the black suit, loses at the end, defeats the Sinister Six, and then the Easter egg leading into number 4 is he's going to fight Venom.
I just hope we don't have another Venom like the last one.
What's wrong with Topher Grace?
Gopher
I mean,
Face?
seriously, what's wrong with Gopher Face? I mean,
That
he looked exactly like Peter Parker and nothing like Eddie Brock. So
Well,
what was
there
wrong
is-
with that, except for the fact that it flies in the face of every single comic book and animated iteration of Eddie Brock we've ever
Well,
seen before?
Ultimate Spider-Man version of Eddie Brock was a little more like Peter. Not completely like Peter, but a little more like Peter.
I don't even care. I mean, they can get Justin Bieber to play it. I
No.
don't care.
No, they
Well,
can't.
You know what I mean?
No, they absolutely can't.
Absolutely
No.
Bottom line is I don't care what Eddie Brock looks like, but get Venom right.
If they had made Venom look more like his action figure for the movie, it would have been a better movie.
Any version of Venom that I have ever seen, okay, from the stupidest little animated one to anything else, has been bulky, big mouth, drooling, nasty, okay, a monster.
Yes.
This Venom from the Spider-Man 3 that we all know and hated was the black suit Spidey with a mouth.
Now, if you guys are listening to this, please check out honest trailers for the Spider-Man trilogy, the original trilogy, because they had it right on the button. 2 movies that were really good and a third one that sucked. It seems to be the theme. They did the same thing with X-Men.
Really bad when the stars are basically phoning it in or strutting down the street.
Well, you know what one of the biggest problems with Spider-Man number 3 is Sam Raimi doesn't like Venom. The only reason he put Venom in the movie is because he knew the fans wanted to see it. It's like, I understand that, but you completely botched him.
Yeah, it showed.
You know what I mean?
Well, you botched him, and you're already dealing with too many supervillains in one movie. But let's add another one in and kind of shoehorn him in there and not deliver.
My favorite part is you added a villain that, okay, you have the Goblin. It's not even the Green Goblin. It's James Franco in a paintball mask riding a surfboard.
Yeah,
Nobody plays a villain like James Franco.
Yeah.
I'd have to say that version of Goblin was probably
You say Gollum?
Goblin.
Oh, Goblin.
But
And
I
we
think
call
that
him
was
Gollum.
He stirs the precious. Anyway,
I think that was probably the worst decision since Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze.
you know who would have made a perfect?
Come on, what's wrong with Arnold's Mr. Freeze?
Okay, everybody, chill.
You know who would? No, all kidding aside, you know who would have made an amazing Mr. Freeze? He's too old now. Christopher Lloyd. Picture him from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Put a dome over his head. There's your Mr. Freeze.
And you know what?
He's not too old now, though.
Yeah,
I think he could still do it.
Hey, if Christopher Lee at 80-something years old can fight a digital Yoda, then you know what? Christopher Lloyd can play Mr. Freeze.
Or a stunt double. Again.
Yeah. probably the same stunt double as Gollum.
Alrighty, I have a whole list in front of me of things going on at San Diego Comic-Con, and right now I've just gotten past to dog riding motorcycle. Let me see. We have Avengers 3, which the rumor going around is Avengers 3 is going to come out in 2018, and it will probably be the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy versus Thanos. Because we teased Thanos in the first Avengers movie, then we said, oh, the second one will be Age of Ultron. It's like, then why do we show Thanos?
Because they needed an ending.
Also, speaking of awesome movie news, and if you didn't like Godzilla, I don't really care. I loved it. Godzilla 2, which I'm not sure when it's coming out. I think it's coming out in 2016.
My podcast, I'll say what I want.
Exactly. And I like Godzilla, okay? I liked it better than Pacific Rim. I'm surprised they haven't made a porno called Pacific Rim. Anyway.
Oh.
But anyway, apparently, from what I'm hearing, the villains, so to speak, of Godzilla 2, if that's what they call it, will be King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan. Exactly.
Three-headed monster, giant butterfly, and pterodactyl.
Or bird.
Whatever.
No, he was a pterodactyl.
And
Was he
please,
a pterodactyl?
for all the Godzilla fans who probably aren't listening, I am not making fun of them. I'm just stating a fact.
Yeah. And but you know, it's funny. You know what the funniest part is? The Japanese were like, oh, we don't like this American Godzilla. He's too fat. But they're building a statue of him over there.
What do they mean they don't like the American Godzilla because he's too fat? He's American.
What?
That's what they said. So he eats too much fast food.
They sold him to us. So
Well, they didn't
shut up.
really sell him. But look at. Let's go down the history of fat Godzillas. Godzilla 2. No, seriously. Godzilla 2001, the one with the crazy white eyes. Actually, he's right there up my shelf. That's a fat Godzilla.
Yeah.
He really is. And Godzilla Final Wars really isn't all that fat. But you know something? 1985 was a little chubby.
That's cool. He's on the Oprah diet.
You stick a guy in a 200-pound rubber suit made out of tires, it's going to be a fat suit.
Yeah.
Exactly. And let's be fair.
I don't care if the new one's, CGI. The original Godzilla was a guy in a rubber suit made out of melted tires, and it weighed 200-something pounds.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's going to be fat.
You know what's funny is every time I see the rubber suit Godzilla rise out of the water, I think to myself, I can't do that. Because if you think about if you're in that giant heavy suit and you're underwater, all of a sudden you have to pull out with water coming down your face, locked in this suit, I would be freaking out, but I'm claustrophobic. And our audience is laughing because they apparently turned into a dirty joke that we will not discuss.
They've turned into 13-year-old boys
Yes,
who
they
are
Yeah.
thinking about the difficulty of pulling out.
Yes.
We probably should have posted this at the beginning, but please note that this podcast has absolutely no class, no standards, and we're all about 8 years old as soon as the mics go on, so.
Did we ever say anything otherwise?
We invited you,
to
didn't
the
we?
opposite of that?
Oh, angry snap. Actually, I'm not going to finish that statement. Getting back to Godzilla, though. Maybe, speaking of fat Godzilla, maybe the villain of Godzilla 2 should be Fat Bastard. A giant Scottish guy in a diaper fighting Godzilla. Remember in Goldmember?
I think that would piss off the Scottish.
Remember in Goldmember, there was this one scene, and I am not doing this to offend any Japanese people, but there's this part where this Japanese guy is like, "Run! It's Godzilla! Actually, it looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it is not. Still, we should run like it is Godzilla!" Though it isn't. That was the best scene of the movie. Other than, "Can I paint as you who gold?" It's kind of my thing. Anyway, but no, those are going to be the villains for Godzilla 2, and no, I'm not talking about Fat Bastard. I'm talking about Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. Anyway, also something else I want to talk about from San Diego Comic-Con that was just released. The Walking Dead trailer for Season 5. Looks amazing. However, I will say what I've always said before. The guy who runs Terminus, every time I hear him talk, my first thought is, "You're not the governor, shut up." So, who's seen the trailer? You haven't. No.
You haven't seen it, Dan? What are you doing here, then?
Hey, I've missed the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, he watched the first season and got bored.
It was boring.
The first season was. The
And so
second
was the
season
second
was,
season.
too. You
Okay,
gotta stick
so I'm
with
just
it for
gonna
the
skip from
payoff.
that. You know, they've got them on
We'll
Netflix.
start on Season 3.
Exactly.
Because what they say about Season 2? God, I hate that far. So, watch the honest trailer for Walking Dead.
See, I have nothing. Walking Dead, it was a good series, but here's the problem. Season 1 was boring, It was a bunch of zombies walking around. It was like
No.
every
They're
single
not zombies. They're walkers or biters.
that big
Or
metal
geeks.
thing that destroyed the Echo Base in Empire Strikes Back was a walker. These are zombies.
Oh,
That was an AT-AT armored walker.
yes,
It's still a
all-terrain armored transport.
Oh, that'd be a great thing to draw.
But
Zombie AT-ATs.
Have you seen the AT-AT Walker? It's an actual walker, like somebody who
Yes,
has
yes.
I
mobility
have
problems.
seen that.
and I
seen
can't
It's got
wait
the-
to get
it's
old
got the
now.
AT-AT.
Well, maybe I can. But anyway, but Walking Dead Season 5 trailer looks absolutely amazing. If you would like to see it, you can either go to our Facebook page, On the Hunt Collectibles, or you can go to our website, onthehuntcomics.com. It is in the trailer section on the main page. It's actually the first picture that pops up. You click it, it'll bring you to the link, and you can watch the Season 5 trailer. Looks absolutely amazing, as I said. Also, something else coming out. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for this, but they're making a live-action Halo mini-series called Halo Nightfall. And it's-
Which also looks amazing.
yeah, it's being directed by Ridley Scott. But you know what the problem? I played the first Halo. I never really played the other games. I think they said it takes place between the 4th and 5th game. But like I said, I've never really played the games, but even I'm interested. I think it looks it could really capture my attention.
You want to see something really funny, though, while you're waiting for that. You want to see something really funny. If you have Netflix, okay, go on Netflix. I mean, I know they just put it on there.
If you say red versus blue, I'm throwing my microphone.
Yes, Red versus Blue. I watched it. It is the dumbest thing you will ever see,
Take
but
that.
it is still funny. All right, it's a bunch of people playing Halo, just swearing at each other in Halo
I will
costumes.
say this: I did try to watch the first episode. I wasn't impressed. However, it may have been because my Netflix was not working properly. Every couple seconds, it would freeze and reload. So I really
Even
didn't catch
Netflix
actually
doesn't wanna
jump.
watch it.
Even Netflix, yeah.
Netflix.
It is probably one of the dumbest things you will ever watch, but it is just dumb enough to be funny. Especially if you're drunk, then it's hysterical.
But yeah, so check that out. I'm not sure when that's coming out. I think it's coming out later this year. But for those of you who are really big Halo fans, you really should sit down and watch that.
In Your Armor, if you haven't.
Yes. Now, something else I want to talk about. Now that we've gotten past the whole Batfleck thing and his horrible looking costume.
I was
I'm
over
not
that
sure I'll ever
costume
get past that.
Well, I do want to talk about
I'm
Wonder
still in therapy for
I
that.
want to talk about Wonder Woman's costume.
Yeah, me too.
Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Personally, I think Jamie Alexander would have made a much better Wonder Woman. But I will give Gal Gadot the benefit of the doubt, and I will give her a chance. You tell me you're going to put her in a Wonder Woman outfit, I will go see it.
Yeah.
Now, after seeing the outfit, once again, you can see it on our on the Hunt Collectibles Facebook page. We did post a picture. It kind of makes me think of take the new 52 Wonder Woman outfit and add a skirt to it, and that's basically what it is.
It's kind of like one of the versions, the Amikami ones that they came out with. It's got that Roman armor
Kinda,
look to
yeah. Like it looks like that thing would stop a bullet.
it. Yeah.
It's like a cross of the New 52 and one of the costumes in Injustice.
Yeah, I'd be more accurate. Without the helmet, though.
Yeah.
The one I believe in Injustice, she had the little metal, like almost Thor-like helmet, but she does not have that. At least she doesn't in the picture that they posted. But I have high hopes for one of them. I don't think she has a big role in this movie. I think she just shows up so they can tease the Justice League movie.
Yeah, I think they're just doing it to tease the DC fanboys.
Yeah. So, but I'm actually more excited about the Wonder Woman costume than I am the Batfleck costume.
Yeah, well.
But
It's a whole lot easier to get excited about anything to do with Wonder Woman than it is to get excited about that Batfleck costume.
oh yeah, that's true. They do sell. But you know what? But like I said, I remember when they said Gal Gadot was playing Wonder Woman, I was like, okay, here's my problem. Anybody who's seen the Fast and Furious movie, she's a twig. She's like really, really skinny. And she did bulk up for this role, so I'm kind of like, all right, now I'm curious to see. Like I said, I saw a picture, but as we all know, they do Photoshop the crap out of these things. I'm more or less waiting. When the movie comes out, I want to see how she does. I'm excited for it. And but you know what's funny is this is really the first on-screen Wonder Woman, live-action on-screen Wonder Woman we've ever seen. Batman, we have, what is it, 7 other movies to compare him to.
We've got Michael Keaton. You've got,
Val Kilmer,
Val
George
Kilmer,
Clooney,
George Clooney.
and
And Adam West.
Adam West,
Adam
and
West.
Christian
Mayor of
Bale.
Quahog.
Christian Bale.
So
And Kevin Conroy. He still deserves an honorable
yeah, but he
mention.
never wore the
Yes,
costume.
honorable mention.
But
yes,
he is
absolutely.
the voice.
But he
of
is
Batman. Actually, I'm excited because they're making there's a movie coming out this year, Assault on Arkham. It's a movie. It takes place 2 years before the original Arkham game, and it's in the same Arkham obviously the Arkham universe, and they got Kevin Conroy to play the voice of Batman. Mark Hamill's not playing the Joker, but I can't remember his name. But the new guy, the guy who played him in Arkham Origins, is playing him, and I think he does an amazing job.
Well, that's because Mark Hamill right now is growing his beard for episode 7.
Speaking of episode 7, Kevin Smith. That was something else they announced at Comic-Con during his panel. He visited the set of Star Wars. He was invited by J.J. Abrams to come see the set. He saw the Millennium Falcon. I actually didn't get a chance to watch the whole video because I was actually at work watching it. Then I got called for something because apparently I have a job to do.
They expect you to do your job when you're at work?
I know, right? My district manager just pulled a CM Punk, and they expect me to still do my job?
Yeah, but nobody's gonna miss him.
Well, anyway, he said that he said the movie is going to be amazing. I trust Kevin Smith.
Yeah, but can I just say, okay, a lot of people I've been listening to it, like, you know, and it's already started the whole like, oh, it's J.J. Abrams doing it, and oh, but he did Star Trek, and oh, you know, it's gonna be this, and it's like, you know what? Just
The Millennium Falcon with lens flares?
I will wait to
exactly.
see the finished product, but I
Exactly.
expect to bring sunglasses for those lenses.
Yeah, exactly. It's called wait until the movie is done, and then if you go to the movie, if you go see episode 7, and you walk out of there, you know,
It can't.
with the same taste in your mouth as the first time you saw Jar Jar Binks, fine.
Well, I was gonna say, it can't be worse than episode 1.
Episode 1 wasn't bad; it was just boring.
Not only that, there was a lot
What?
of
All those Senate debates didn't keep you going?
No.
there was dialogue. There was dialogue in that movie that made me cringe. Pretty much everything Anakin said.
Misa don't know what you're talking about.
Like, just, I mean, and I understand he's a kid, so he may not be the best actor, but I would just hear some of his dialogue, like, just stop. Like, listening to him talk makes you want to, stab him in the neck.
Well, I was just going to say, I would rather have waited for that kid, though, to grow up and grow into the role of Anakin than replace him with Hayden Christensen ever again.
Yeah.
He was kind of a whiny.
The kid may not be able to act, but neither can Hayden Christensen, so what's the difference?
Well, you know what the funniest part is? You almost understood, from a Star Wars universe perspective, you understand why Luke whined a lot.
His dad did too.
Yeah, it's like, dude, shut
No.
up. Even when Darth Vader is whining, it's like, give me a break.
You know, and that's kind of the part I think that pissed a lot of people off, and I think that's the bait. Is Darth Vader, before we had the prequels, Darth Vader was the badass of the galaxy. There was no screwing with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And then they turned him tragic.
Yeah.
All right. And, and the fact that, like, after everything they've done, and then what do they do when they release it on Blu-ray? We don't change anything about most of the movie except no at the end of Return
when
of
he
the
throws
Jedi.
the Emperor into the thing.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so much better when he didn't say a word.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever watched that. I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on here? And the funny thing is I had seen number 1 and 2. I saw New Hope and Empire Strikes Back probably 100 times. I remember one day I was watching Return of the Jedi, and I was like, wait a minute. Yoda dies? Wait a minute. Darth Vader kills the Emperor? I thought I've seen this before. What am I missing? And apparently I hadn't seen it before. But this is back when I was probably 8 years old.
You were missing your midichlorians.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Let's not talk
The
about
midichlorians were on vacation that day.
Yeah, we've got to.
Well, if we're going to address cinema sins in the original Star Wars trilogy, the one that I have to point out more than adding the no in Return of the Jedi, more than Han and Greedo firing in sync when we all know that Han was the only one to draw his blaster and shoot. The thing that I have to cite, cinema sin-wise, is Hayden Christensen replacing
Jake Lloyd.
replacing Sebastian Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
I had to-
very
I had to
good
think-
return.
Shaw.
I had to think of old
Sebastian
Anakin's
Shaw
name.
played the original Anakin,
Played
the
old
old
Anakin
Anakin, who was the
Skywalker.
ghost at the end of
He was
Return.
also the villain in X-Men First Class.
different Sebastian Shaw.
So, but Well, didn't they get like the guy who was actually under the mask through the movies, the guy who was under the mask when they took it off, and the guy who played the ghost were actually three different people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because because it was David Prowse
Yeah, who played Darth Vader.
who played Darth Vader. When they took the helmet off, okay, I'm not sure, but I think that was still David Prowse with makeup on.
No.
Was it?
No, it was somebody else. So it was. I remember he was like some sort of English actor because that's how he was like, go, my son. Because David Prowse sounds nothing like Darth Vader, and that guy actually did a little.
Yeah, that's true. He's got a very high pitched voice. But so it's one person to play the body of Vader, one person to play the voice of Vader, one person to play the helmet off Vader, and another person to play Anakin's ghost.
And one ring to rule them
I was just about to say. That's how you deal with Sauron. You chop off his hands, poke him in the eye, and punch him in the mouth. Have you ever seen that deleted scene with the mouth of Sauron?
Yeah, I
Dude
have.
needed chapstick really bad.
Yeah, it's called. They took the guy from Hellraiser and threw him in Lord of the Rings. Now we know why he was out of a job after that one.
Hellraiser. That's a movie series I've never actually watched.
Seen 2 of them.
But it's kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street. The only Nightmare on Elm Street movie I cannot watch is the original. It just freaks me out. It freaked me out when I was a kid, which I blame you for. But the other ones I watched.
What did I do?
The only one I can't watch is the second one because it's just awful.
Oh, awful movie, yeah.
You got freaked out by the Dark Crystal, so shut up.
Well, that's a creepy movie. You know what's actually...
That is a creepy movie.
It is. Actually, you know what one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies is? And you're going to think I'm weird, is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I just love...
Yeah, I really don't see that, but...
I just thought it was an interesting take. I just loved... I'm watching this movie, I'm like, that's actually not Freddy Krueger. It's a demon who's pretending to be Freddy Krueger. I just thought that this is brilliant. You know? If I have to say my favorite, and I don't care who says it, my favorite Freddy movie was Freddy vs. Jason.
And you know what my least favorite Friday the 13th movie was?
5.
Freddy vs. Jason.
Actually, I can't say 5 because I didn't see 5. It was
5 is the one where it wasn't Jason.
Yes, I know, but I've never seen it, so I can't honestly say it's my least favorite. My least favorite is the Robo Jason one.
Oh, Jason X or Jason 10 or whatever the hell they call
Yeah,
it.
it's called
Jason X.
in space.
Yeah,
Dude, I watched the movie and I literally thought I was watching a porno because it was shot like a porno, and then I saw boobs.
It wasn't a porno?
And then I was like,
And
wait.
that's why people watched it.
And then I started watching it. I was like, wait, there's a plot?
That's right. There was only one X.
I remember one time I was watching a hentai, and I was actually getting into the plot. Then I realized, wait, I'm watching a hentai. I was taking one for the team. Back when we had lockdown collectibles, we said, well, we're going to sell hentai someday, so we should probably watch it. So I bought this one. It was actually called Twin Angels. And I watched it, and I was like, I need that $20 back.
The Japanese have got one hell of an imagination. You got to give them that.
Oh, that brings a whole new meaning to Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah. No, those are Saturday night cartoons.
No, the problem is I think they play them Saturday morning. But I think the Japanese work 7 days a week anyway.
If I could just work for an hour, I would.
Yeah.
Did we have a list?
We had a list.
Well, no, the list
passed
I
the
made
list?
was literally just about San Diego Comic-Con. But I haven't seen any costumes. I know there's this giant animatronic creature that they made for San Diego Comic-Con. I just don't know what it's for. It's just a giant monster robot.
Well, yeah, if we're going to talk about costumes and weird things going on at San Diego Comic-Con, on the subject of costumes, the new Batgirl costume.
You know what it makes me think of?
Teeny Boppers?
Kinda. Almost
Justin
makes me
Bieber fans?
I'm trying to remember. There's like
AKA their target audience.
Somebody pull this up. I haven't seen it.
well, you can pull it out on your phone. Basically, it looks like
You
If-
assume too much.
if the creators...
Okay, can I just say, we just talked about a Batgirl costume with a skirt, and I just said, can you pull that up for me?
Do you remember the new My Little Pony show they have?
Yes.
You know that episode special they did where they were all human?
It was a movie, wasn't it?
It was a movie, yeah, but you remember it.
Yeah.
Imagine Batgirl appearing in that. And that's pretty much what she looks like. Like, it looks like, oh my god, I'm trying to juggle my high school life while being a vigilante at night. Yeah, exactly. It's bubbly. It's like,
Batgirl's not bubbly.
But yeah. So, oh, are you still trying to pull it up?
I'm still looking for it.
See,
It's not.
I
is it
probably
new,
should have done a
is it new
finer search because
It's not New 52, right?
this is
no.
this is gonna suck because especially with the show we've got coming up, people are gonna ask me to draw this thing.
I know.
It's okay though. They'll all be 11-year-old girls.
Speaking
That
of,
doesn't make me feel any better.
Speaking of drawing things, Dan, remember that one time when you were going to draw me a steampunk Ariel in like February? Yeah, that.
Hey, if you're ever on my DA page, you'll see the stamp that says I take a long time to do shit.
bum bum bum. Rough. Oh, is this her?
No, that one's still. It's close. It's almost like somebody did their own artist version of it.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks so exciting. I remember the buttons on the
It's
shoulder.
basically it's like a purple leather jacket with a snap-on cape, bright yellow gloves, bright yellow
That one?
Doc Marten boots. Yeah, that's more along the line.
Basically what it looks like. Yes.
Christ almighty.
Oh, here's a perfect example of her throwing the rock horns while making a stupid face because yeah. It's one of those things that I wish people could see, and at the same time, I'm glad that they can't.
Yeah. Who's Facebooking me right now? I'm in the middle of a podcast.
It's Batgirl.
Yes.
I have no words for this.
That'll be the name of the show. Batgirl and Friends. Oh my god.
Batgirl and her amazing friends.
Remember the episode of Justice League when they were like, "What? You mean we're made like a Super Friends?" I was thinking more of a Justice League.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, like the new 52
What's
comic
with the
series.
boots?
That
Can I
seems to
see
be
the
the
boots?
common thing. They're like bright yellow Doc Martens.
Yeah.
I suppose it could be worse.
Almost like she bought them at a hardware store.
Could be bright yellow Uggs.
But I mean,
Don't give them ideas.
that Batgirl aside, I do like most of the new 52 style. And I know a lot of people don't, which I don't quite understand. But like, look at Superman. They finally got rid of, and they did the same thing with the Man of Steel movie. Is Superman doesn't have the red underwear over the suit anymore.
Yeah, but that's back.
But now what am I going to do with all my red underwear? I can't wear it outside my clothes anymore.
That's something you need to discuss with your girlfriend. But at least in the new the new 52 version of Superman, he doesn't have the red underwear, but he does have a red belt.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, cool. I do want to talk about the Joker, the new 52 Joker. For those of you who haven't read it, he apparently, and I know this all came out probably over a year ago. I actually didn't start reading the new 52 until this happened. It was basically if you want to find it, look it up. It's called New 52 Batman. And actually, they made one for Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, all the different comics. It's New 52. The saga is called Death of the Family. Not to be confused with Death in the Family. It's called Death of the Family. Basically, what happens is the Joker comes back after missing for like a year. He had his face surgically removed. I think he had the help of I don't remember the guy's name. It was like Toy Maker or something like that, or a Puppet Master. It was somebody. I
Was
can't.
it the doll maker?
Maybe. It was one of those. But and he disappeared for a year, and they had his face in cold storage in the Gotham Police Department. And all of a sudden, he shows up in the Gotham Police Department. Gordon's in there. He's talking to some of his men. All of a sudden, he looks over in the doorway, and there's a guy. He's all in the shadows, and all he can see are these two really bright white eyes and teeth. And he's like, "Oh my God, no!" Joker kills the power, kills most of the cops, gets his face back, and before he can kill Gordon, all of a sudden Batman shows up. They hit the lights, and Joker's gone. And what Joker does is takes his own face, attaches leather straps on it, and wears it as a mask. Now, when this happened, I posted on Facebook, this is why I'm a fan of the Joker. Because that's just how sick he is.
Did your wife have to stop you from like surgically removing your own face?
No. Luckily, no. I do want to get that Joker version tattooed, though. But yeah, I just was like...
I thought he was going to say he doesn't want to consider it, though.
Well, I already have the new 52 Harley. And that's the other thing. New 52 Harley. Speaking of costumes, a lot of people were saying, oh, look, she looks so slutty. Why does everybody have to go slutty? I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, and don't get me wrong, I love the classic Harley. I have a whole Harley shelf filled with classic Harley. But How many times did we do the same Harley Quinn until you say, you know what, we have to change her. We have to update her a little bit. We have to do something.
And
no, keep going.
well, no, and I think I even said this on the last podcast, but you know something, from an artist standpoint, from an artist standpoint, you know something, it, you can like it, you can hate it, but the bottom line is that kind of stuff. Sex sells.
Yeah, basically.
It always has. It always will. Okay. Bottom line is don't hate the players, hate the game.
Exactly. I mean,
And I'm not talking about Triple H.
Yeah, we already got past the WWE sucks without CM Punk segment. But yeah, but it's like look at the Arkham City Harley. You know, she was kind of a different take. She wasn't full on, slutty. She had pants, leather pants, and the corset and everything. And it's like it looked good. It looked really good. But what I find cool is the new Harley 52 comic. She actually changes her outfit. Cause she actually said in an issue, she's like, I don't understand why Superman wears the same thing every day. I'd rather wear different stuff. And sometimes she wears like this one piece like dress thing. Sometimes she wears the Psycho Slut outfit from Suicide Squad. I think what they're doing with New 52 is actually really cool. So. And
I like it.
Yeah, and it's like the fact that, like I said, with Joker ripped off his face and doing the straps, I just thought it was like, holy crap. I mean, that's a risky move if you really think about it, because the Joker's kind of been the same really for a long time. He has the purple suit, white face, red lip. It's you can look at him and you know it's the Joker. If I saw him in the plumber's outfit with the missing face, I'd be like, what is that?
Yeah.
But even look at
But it paid off.
It did, and it's like the same thing with the Arkham games. You have Titan Joker. That was like I remember watching. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, it sucks that you couldn't have an actual Joker versus Batman fight at the end of the game." I was like, I thought the Titan Joker was sick. Man, the fact that they did that, I was like, "Holy crap, this is awesome!" But it was basically like a Bane version of Joker, which they have done before. That actually reminds me. I was actually reading a thing the other day. Speaking of Batman, there's a different universe out there. A couple different universes that I thought were kind of interesting. I was reading about. I don't know what they're called, but there was one universe where Thomas and Martha Wayne don't have a son, and when Kal-El, aka Superman, gets sent to Earth, he lands in Gotham, and they raise him as Bruce Wayne. Batman does not eat nachos, but I thought
Duffman can never die.
Duffman can't breathe. Oh
no.
Ooh. Anyway, but I just thought that was like
train.
But it was like I was like, really? Like Batman and Superman the same person? I just felt like that was like a little odd. I mean, I don't think it's an ongoing series. I think it was a mini series.
How can they be friends if they're the same person?
And that pissed off a lot of people. But you know what the funny thing is? I was saying to her earlier, if Batman and Superman hadn't existed the way they did, that crossover never would have happened. Another crossover I thought was kind of interesting was Martha and Thomas and Bruce could leave the movie theater, and Bruce dies instead of them, and Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, and Martha is so screwed up because her son dies, she becomes the Joker.
That does sound pretty messed up.
I was gonna say that
that's a version of the Joker.
We definitely.
So you're
tossed all
saying
the
in that
coins
version of the
together
Joker, he becomes a woman instead.
Basically, yeah.
So we're
And
kind of
in that version,
segueing into another topic that I want to get to, but
Yeah.
let's wrap this one up first.
well, I was
kind
about
of
to say that means that the Batman has had sex with the Joker.
You just kind of expect to see the TARDIS show up and the doctor like, yeah, we've got fixed face.
Fixed point in time. Sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
But on the subject of major characters in comic books going from one gender to another gender,
I think I know where you're going.
we have Disney's newest princess, Thor.
Go ahead.
Because Disney owns Marvel, Marvel owns Thor. Thor is the son of Odin, who is king of the Norse gods.
Yeah.
And I don't want to live on this
Thor
planet
is Disney's
anymore.
newest princess.
But it's not Thor.
It's not Thor, but they're saying that it is Thor. Thor is a person. He's not his hammer. So
Yeah.
if he becomes unworthy of wielding his hammer and somebody else takes it up, that doesn't make them Thor.
No, that just gives them the power of Thor.
It just
Right,
gives them
and
Mjolnir.
that's the thing that's been bugging me about the whole thing. It's like, I don't care if they want to take that comic in a whole different direction and have it become a female superhero. Just don't call her Thor.
Yeah. And the funny thing is they're going to continue the story of Thor after he loses the hammer. I guess the Council of Odin or whatever basically find him unworthy of Thor, take it away from him, and give it to somebody else. But his story goes on. Thor still exists. So that's why I don't understand why they're calling this woman Thor, because she's not.
It's not like it's not like a Batman thing where it's the mask.
No.
Thor is.
It's not
this
how you
person...
hang a hammer.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson, Damian Wayne, whoever wears the mask is Batman.
Thor doesn't have a
unless
mask.
he's female, and then he's Batwoman.
Yeah.
Or Batgirl.
Thor was this. It's not like this guy had a. It's not like this is Thor. His real name is. No.
Yeah.
His name is Thor. He's
Odin
the
had a
of
son,
Odin.
named him Thor, and when he got old enough, he gained the powers of this hammer.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. What's really going to bug me is when they try to start doing it in the movies, which they've already discussed.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't picture that going over well.
Speaking of movies, though, I did hear a rumor that Amber Heard was going to be playing Miss Marvel.
Not quite sure how to feel about that just yet.
I do like Amber Heard. Well, that's what I'm thinking. If they get Amber Heard to play Miss Marvel, maybe they'll get Johnny Depp to play Doctor Strange.
That would be cool. They're already dropping rumors, though, that that's going to be Joaquin Phoenix. And he is pretty strange. I'll give him that. But
yeah, But, when I heard, like, Johnny Depp as Doctor Strange, I said, okay, that fits. If they hadn't gotten him already, I would have said Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Strange would have worked, too, if he wasn't already Iron Man. Just they had that kind of look. If this had maybe been 10, 15, 20 years ago, Tim Curry, maybe.
yeah, Tim Curry now, not so much.
Or, you know what's funny? Speaking of people that who would have made a great Doctor Strange is, oh, God, what's his name? No.
What movie?
No. Adam's Family. Raul Julia.
Oh yes.
Back then, he would have made an awesome Doctor Strange.
Oh yes.
And you know what well, yeah, he actually died. The funny thing is, it's not like he died of an overdose. He actually died of a heart attack. But you know what the funny thing is?
Yeah, after doing Street Fighter.
Yeah. But you know what the thing
that is his legacy.
You know what the thing that bugs me the most about his death, other than the fact that Adam's Family Reunion was a complete. I still haven't seen it, but anyway,
it never should have been made.
Really?
Yes.
Should I check it out?
No.
Have you seen it?
No, I've seen enough of it to not want to see the rest of it.
I saw the cast, and when I heard Tim Curry as Gomez, I was like, all right, I can see that.
No.
But
no.
I had a point to all this. Oh yeah,
No.
Raul Julia. In the original version of the Mask of Zorro, Raul Julia was supposed to play the original Zorro, and then he was supposed to train Antonio Banderas to take over the mask. After he passed away, of course, the role went on to Anthony Hopkins, who did an amazing job.
Oh yes.
I do love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. But when I think about how it would have been if Raul Julia was still alive, I was like, I want to go to another universe where I can see it. But it's also the same thing. I want to see The Dark Knight Rises if Heath Ledger was still alive. That's the version
Or
of
if
the movie.
anybody could have taken over that role. I don't think anybody could have replaced Heath Ledger's version of the Joker from The Dark Knight to make it possible for the Joker to be in The Dark Knight Rises. I don't think that's even remotely possible. But if somebody could have, I think that would have been amazing.
I think it would have been amazing. The problem I have with The Dark Knight Rises is they almost pretended the Joker never happened. It was all about Harvey Dent and what happened with Harvey Dent. It's like, what about all that stuff that happened with the Joker? He blew up. Even when he talked about Rachel's death, he never once brought up the Joker. And you're trying to tell me that they locked the Joker away at the end of The Dark Knight, and that was it? He never escaped?
I was going to say, the Joker escaped every other episode of Batman.
I mean, 8 years took place between the two movies, and you're trying to tell me the Joker's not at large somewhere? One rumor was that he was the one inmate that was actually still at Arkham Asylum, because Arkham was not as populated as it used to be. But even that, it's like, so he's in there by himself, basically, with a couple guards, and you're trying to tell me he can't escape?
Well, and his psychiatrist.
Dr. Quinzel.
Dr. Quinzel, yes, absolutely.
Never used in any of the movies.
Well, of course not. That would have been incredibly fun and amazing.
They would have.
Could have been done very, very well, but
They-
probably would have ended up more like Spider-Man 3.
They would have done it if, Heath Ledger was still alive, I believe.
the girl who played Gwen Stacy in the two Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. She might have made a good Harley. She had the look.
You know who has a perfect voice that I brought up? She maybe not so much the look. I mean, kind of look, but she has a perfect voice for it. Is the girl who plays Bernadette in Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
I think she can make a pretty good Harley Quinn.
Well, if we're talking look and voice, the only thing missing would be acting talent. I would throw in Sherry Moon Zombie. I think she's got a great voice.
Yeah.
I think she's got a great look to play Harley.
Yes.
Yep.
But that woman cannot act surprised if she has no clue what's going on.
But the great thing about Sherry Moon Zombie is you almost don't care how she's acting.
No.
That's true.
I mean, the roles that
Unless
she's
the
in.
movie is very Lords of Salem as opposed to House of a Thousand Corpses.
I've never actually seen Lords of Salem.
You don't want to.
Well, it's like she had a very small role in the first Halloween movie. I loved Halloween. I liked Devil's Rejects better than House of a Thousand Corpses. I did not like Halloween 2. I loved El Super Beasto.
That was fun.
That was hysterical, and it's just
That
like.
was great.
And the funny thing is Rob Zombie said, "Oh, I'm done with horror movies. He's going to go on that hockey movie. Hockey movie got put on hold. Now he's going back to doing a horror movie again."
I hope he does more animated movies.
That was hysterical. I think if we did El Super Beasto 2, I definitely would see it. You know, I don't think the first one was in theaters. I think it was straight to DVD. So I think I went out and bought it.
Yeah, because there wouldn't have been too many people allowed to see it.
Yeah, I don't think it could get past the MPAA.
No.
But I think Sherry Moon Zombie would be I maybe not now, maybe 10 years ago.
Well, I think honestly at this point we've gone past the point of throwing a Harley Quinn in there because
You're looking at another reboot in order to make it possible.
exactly.
But I feel like though the rumor around Joker is going to be in this next movie.
Oh, who's gonna die this time?
I feel like if they do the Joker now, you can. Now, I love Heath Ledger's. I love the Dark Knight. I think it's a great version. It's an original version. I love it. But now I feel like, okay, if you're going to make a new Joker, he has to be more like the comic or more like the Arkham Joker. If you're going to do it like an Arkham Joker, I think I may have suggested before, I think Johnny Knoxville would have made a great Joker. Arkham style.
I don't know that you've suggested it before, at least not in my presence, but I could see it.
Yeah. I still think, actually, you know who's they posted a picture of in the makeup, and it's something I never really thought of before, but I think would do a really good job, especially now that I think about it with his voice and stuff like that. Matt Smith. They posted a picture of him in the makeup, and it looked surprisingly awesome.
Yeah, I've seen the picture, and it does look pretty great.
There was a lot of talk at the beginning about David Tennant too.
That would be great too, either David Tennant or Matt Smith. But when I thought about Matt Smith, I just think about the way he talked and how when he played the Doctor, he had like these almost psychotic moments. Yes.
Yeah, he was very all over the place. He was kind of the uncoordinated house cat, jumping all over the place and saying random things.
I have one of
Plus, he looks good in a bow tie.
Yes.
That is true.
Speaking
Speaking of uncoordinated house cats, effective last night, Jethro no longer wants to be called Jethro. He wants to be called Captain Ruckus, so his enemies will take him more seriously. No, Captain. He doesn't. No, Commander is second. He wants to be the Captain. Captain Ruckus. So his enemies will take him more seriously.
He's having.
They would do well
cat.
to take him more seriously.
Yes.
He is a formidable opponent.
Yes,
and
he
I
is.
should know this as Captain Tight Pants.
This kitty has claws. Which brings me back to Adrian Curry dressed as Catwoman, which we discussed at the beginning. Now, she will be dressed as Poison Ivy in the next couple days, so be sure to check that out. Follow San Diego Comic-Con on Facebook. Any updates I get, I usually post on the Facebook page as well. I don't know about FOE19 Studios. Do you post San Diego Comic-Con updates on FOE19 Studios?
One of us usually does.
One of us usually does. Well, I haven't been. I've been doing it on the hunt.
Okay, so I should probably do that.
You should probably do that. But
37 people who watch it.
also check out the Nerdist videos. You can find them on YouTube. CM Punk has been hanging out with them this weekend, and it's just exciting to see him again. You know, I miss him. I think we all miss him. Wrestling has not been the same since he left.
No. But speaking of what we're posting on like different Facebook pages, we should probably bring up the show coming up next weekend.
Yes, there's a show coming up next Saturday, August 2nd.
Only Saturday.
Only Saturday. It's a one-day show. It's from 10 to 5. It's in Fairhaven, Massachusetts at the Seaport Inn and Marina. The show is called South Coast Touring Comic. They do have a few guests. I think we said this last time. Shock T from Star Wars is going to be there. John Cena Sr. is going to be there. There's a guy from ECW going to be there. I can't remember his name. There's also going to be a couple paranormal guests as well.
Mm-hmm.
One of the puppeteers from Gremlins is going to be there, or the puppeteer from Gremlins. I think he played the Gremlins, and he also did that annoying little creature from Jabba the Hutt's palace in Return of the Jedi, whatever it was called. Crumb.
Salacious Crumb.
Salacious Crumb. Salacious?
Yeah.
Salacious. Opposite of bodacious.
It was the annoying thing that was laughing next to Jabba.
Yeah, I know. I'm just waiting for Brian to come back to see if any of his last minute thoughts.
But the whole crew is going to be represented there on the Hunt Collectibles and FOE Studios.
Yep, over in Artist Alley. You can go see him and his brand new artwork if he has any.
Oh, plenty.
Okay, good.
I can get it done in time.
You better get it done in time. And we will be there with...
See, I can't just order a product, okay?
Yeah,
make it.
honestly, and I almost hate to say this because it might kill our business, but we don't have a lot of new product from TerraCon. We have a few new things. I'm going to do some little hunting around this week, try to get some new things. We still have plenty of things. We have some great stuff that we did not bring to TerraCon that we will be bringing to South Coast Toy Comic.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I mean, it's one of, if you ever done or been to Super Mega Fest, it's kind of like that. It's the best way I can describe it. I mean, it's
organized.
like a little more organized, yes. But it's definitely a good time. I've only done it the 1 year so far, but I did have a very good time doing it. And that is next Saturday, which is odd because most shows are on Sundays.
Oh, I suppose,
We're talking about South Coast Touring Comic.
I was going to say, have we moved on to upcoming shows?
Yes, South Coast Touring Comic. After that, go check out Boston Comic Con. Unfortunately, we will not be there. Mr. Brian
Which
here.
is a shame. I will be there.
Yeah.
I will be in attendance. I will be debuting a new costume at Boston.
I wish I could go now. I was actually planning on going, but it's actually I'm working that weekend. And if I switch it, I can't because I'm going on vacation the following weekend. It's just how it works. And so...
Yes, I will be in attendance with my wonderful second half, who will be my second half as well, although not my second in command.
So she will not be Commander Ruckus?
She will not be Commander Ruckus, a.k.a. Zoe. She will, however, be the muscle of the team, Jane Cobb, the hero of Canton, of course.
You're going to be Jane?
It is a cunning hat.
What
you
hat?
do look fantastic in it.
Oh, yeah.
His mama knitted him that hat.
It's been a while since we've all seen that series.
You're going to grow a beard?
It's been a while since you've seen it. I've watched it 3 times in
get
the
a
past
fake beard, or at least
3
fake
weeks.
5 o'clock shadow. Just paint some dots on your face, and there you go. So, like I said, on the hunt, FOE will not be at Boston Comic Con, unfortunately, but Brian will be here next month to give us a full rundown of everything that happened at Boston Comic Con.
Are you going to be at the show next weekend?
We haven't talked about that, but I think the plan was to try and make that, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a one-day show, and Saturday. He has a car?
Yeah, that's kind of hit and miss. And we're being graced with the presence of Captain Ruckus,
Captain!
Commander Captain Rock.
All right, we're so
who was just hiding behind Dan until the argument broke out as to his rank.
So anyway, come see us next weekend at South Coast Touring Comic. It's August 2nd in Fairhaven, Mass. at the Seaport Inn and Marina. It's from 10 to 5. I believe it's $3 to get in.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
So.
It's either 3 or 5. It's not that expensive. It's not a very expensive show to get into. There's a lot of great stuff there, a lot of great guests, some great stuff at Artist Alley. John Cena's dad will be there, apparently. I'm not even sure why. But we'll have some great stuff.
Because Stanley has laryngitis.
Yeah, they wouldn't get Stanley for that show anyway.
But come hell or high water, I will be debuting some new art pieces, as well as a whole bunch of old ones. The Artist Alley is it's a really good setup at this one, so you should definitely stop by.
So it's a lot of good stuff going to be there. After that, our next show after that isn't until September, which is something called Park Day, which is really isn't a convention as much as it's a outdoor festival. But you want any updates, go to onthehuntcomics.com. All of our shows are listed there. Next show is always listed on the main page, along with any new product or new pictures we've taken. Also follow us on Facebook at on the www.facebook.com. I believe it is / On the Hunt Collectibles.
Is that a forward slash or a backslash?
It is a /. So yeah, but I'm sure if you know how to use Facebook, you can find us. And as I've said many, many times before, do not go to onthehunt.com because, as I've said before, it is an amateur gay porn site.
It is traumatizing.
Yes.
Yeah, we will not be responsible for any therapy bills you may accrue.
Yes. So I guess that's it for Con Artist, and we will see you next month.